active defensive player, especially on the court?
He's probably one of the best defensive player, especially on perimeter I ever play. So obviously he's like giving us like that kind of force defensively. It's easier to guard a pick and roll when you have like that kind of guard who can like avoid the screens, who can be really present on the ball, who can really be active on the ball, and his runs offensively, his shots, offensively is like giving us really, really good force offensively, and like I'm really enjoying playing with him. He's a great guy, and he's playing with amazing force with a heart. He's living a heart every game on the court.
What do you think makes a team great on the road?
That's a good question. Obviously, it's always harder to win on the road, especially most of the games. It's gonna be close and tight. When you have a closers, when you have like Steph Curry, I think Chris Paul, Klay, Andre Wiggins, when you have like second unit who is really kind of like pushing in those between minutes between the starters what are playing, I think that's the important thing. And sometimes it's just like the body language. Sometimes it just go out and like present like we are the Warriors, and that kind of stuff, and just go there and sometimes take the win. Sometimes it's not gonna be easy. Sometimes you need to steal ones. Sometimes you struggle, for a whole game, and sometimes you need to just steal one. So I think if the Warriors, come with their guard like a champions in every road game, in every game is gonna be great for us. And I think those guys who've been here for several years, they have that mood. So I think we're gonna grab some away games for sure this year.
Dario, you guys in the first game, I mean, obviously didn't shoot the ball very well, but what did you think of the overall effort in game one, and what did you see? Maybe what did you guys see on the film?
I think my personal opinion, it was like what you say. We didn't shoot very well, obviously, but I think we compete for 48 minutes. Played in both ways, defensively, offensively. But I think, like my personal opinion, I think we are a great team because we have such a guys who can play with the ball, but they are really good without ball. So I think the most important thing sometimes is just to swing the ball from one side to another side. So especially when you play teams who have like great size, if we move them side to side, for them is kind of hard to guard. So I think third quarter we were like really doing that, trying to play side to side, and it was hard to guard us. But sometimes just great players on the other side. Sometimes the last 2 threes what they make is just make them to win that game. We hope next time is gonna be for us. So this is a basketball. That's why we like. Sometimes it's not real explanation, but I think like a team we can be better. I think we will be better.
You guys missed a lot of shots at the rim. How frustrating is that to get so close and not have it?
Yeah, of course. I don't know. We can route down. That was like first game. We can route down. I don't know why, but it's obviously miss such many layups. Me first. I should be better on that one. And sometimes games like that. Let's say it's the first game of the season. And go from there. But I think these guys, obviously been finishing around the rims for years. So I think we're gonna get better about that. Of course, we're gonna work that on the practices too.
You guys over here on the other side. You guys played the Kings twice in preseason. What do you like about how you guys match up with them, and what are you looking or seeing on the film maybe that you can improve on?
The guys who've been here for last year, I think they have like better experience, how the Sacramento play. But obviously, what's coach said, they have like one of the, best early offenses in the league, maybe the best. They have a Fox who is really pushing the ball up there, who is playing great. They have a Sabonis who can bring the ball down. They have amazing shooters around. So it's gonna be tough game. We beat them. But this is the season now. New year. Start of the new year, basketball year. So it's gonna be different. I think we need to compete for 48 minutes. Especially we need to be better taking taking care of turnovers. I think we struggled a little bit in a preseason. Last game was good, but like in preseason we were kind of struggling. And box out. I think there's be main two things. If we secure those two things, we are, I think, one step closer to win the game.
When he first got injured, he said, I'm a fast healer. I think this isn't going to be too long. Is it taking a little bit longer to get back in it? Or
No.
Just conditioning at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's conditioning. It's there's a foundation of strength and conditioning that every player has to build during the preseason. It might have been quicker had it been mid-season. Draymond is a fast healer, but beginning of the season, every player needs to go through the process of building a conditioning and strength foundation, and so Draymond has been doing that diligently, and so he's close.
Steve, what did he do today? Draymond, what did you guys do, I should
He did everything. We didn't scrimmage, but we had a lot of skill and some strategic stuff, shooting. He did everything.
And what did the video expose?
Video from the game the other night?
Yeah.
Well, there's, anytime you miss shots, there's you can pick out 100 things. We should have set this screen lower. We should have cut here. And then when you make shots, you don't even notice that stuff. So it's important to really look at what's happening, which obviously we did. We took a good look at the film. We showed a lot of clips to the players today. There were definitely possessions where we needed better spacing, but there were also a lot of good clips where we just missed shots. I think the two biggest areas of the game were the fouling jump shooters in the first half, which allowed them to play from ahead, and then the offensive rebounding. They got a lot of second chance opportunities, and that ultimately won the game for them.
It looked like Klay did a really nice job on Kevin. Aside from that, what do you think of the defense overall?
I thought Klay did a good job on Kevin, just trying to stay physical and not let him get free too often. Kevin probably missed some shots that he'll normally hit, but you have to live with some of the stuff that he does. And in the midst of all that, you've just got to try to make it as difficult as possible. And Klay did that. As I mentioned, the fouling in the first half and the second chance opportunities overall were the problem. And we had 4 or 5 really bad transition defense clips as well. So some of the things that we're working on in camp, they're still a work in progress.
Steve, you guys had a group of Chris, Klay, JK, Gary, and Dario that played about 2 minutes straight together in that third quarter run. And they went on an 11-2 run. Just kind of wanted to ask what you liked about that group. It seems like they really complement each other really well.
Yeah, I think that was when Steph got into foul trouble. And, that's the beauty of having this kind of depth. I'm not sure. I don't think we played that combination at all preseason, but Chris makes most combinations better. He just ties the game together. But what I like about that particular group, you get the defense and athleticism on the ball with Gary and JK. You get the shooting from Klay and Dario, playmaking from Chris and Dario together and pick and roll. So that was a nice combination.
And then obviously, you guys are about to have a lot of road games coming up here. What's the importance of starting off strong with this 3-game slate, and what gives you confidence that you guys will be strong on the road from the get-go this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think this team is, has more veteran experience than last year's team. Veteran teams tend to play better on the road, but with that said, nothing's guaranteed. I don't think we played particularly sharply the other night, so we've got to be sharper. Just our rhythm and our timing, and you saw how many missed shots there were. So we've got to get our skill at a good level as we go on the road. But I also know that with Draymond coming back at some point over the next week or two, we've got more work. We've got to integrate him into the lineup. We've got to figure out the rotations, the combinations, all that. And so I don't expect our team to be, going full bore for, a while. Like, it's not going to happen right away. So early part of the season is just about getting better and working every day and trusting that over the course of the 82 games, we're gonna win our share.
Is there a feeling for what part of the road trip Draymond might be able to come back? Is it later, earlier? No.
Well, yeah, I mean, he won't play tomorrow, but there's a hope he could play in Houston or New Orleans, so we'll see.
How much does having him out against the Kings sort of impact how you match up with them?
Match up with
the Kings?
The Kings. Well, we've seen them twice in preseason without Draymond, with our new group this year. So I don't think matchups are too much of an issue, but just missing Draymond is an issue. He's one of the best defensive players, if not the best in the whole league, and obviously does so many other things for us. So anxious to get him back for sure. Thanks.
Steve, you talked about rhythm and trying to find that early on in the season. Like, how do you approach this early part of the season, trying to catch a rhythm when your team isn't whole?
It's mostly about the work, in practice. It's trying to go game speed with every drill, really urging the players to go through all of their shooting routines and workout routines with a sense of urgency, and because that's really what brings rhythm and timing is, practicing with force and making everything as game-like as possible.
For many years, Steve, I mean, the Warriors-Kings matchups were pretty one-sided. Warriors pretty much dominated. But obviously last year you saw them in the playoffs, and even in the preseason game here, it seemed a little spicier than normal preseason game might be. Are you able to enjoy, how much do you enjoy, or how do you feel about where these two teams are when it comes to facing each other?
It's fun. I mean, they have a great team. They won our division last year. We had that epic 7-game series with them. We saw them twice already. We see them tomorrow. We see them again next week. We're getting to know each other quite well. But it's great that both teams are doing well, and fan base for both sides has to be so excited. Really fun matchup. And as I said to you yesterday or the day before, I love just jumping on a bus for a road trip. That's really nice. So.
Hey, Steve, sorry, one last thing.
I'm trying. I see Dario over there.
Sorry, Dario.
Yeah.
So obviously a lot has been said about the Warriors' size. Like, how much of a factor do you think size played in the loss against the Suns?
I didn't think it was a huge factor, to be honest. I thought the rebounding was more a case of not going out to hit bodies on the perimeter. We were letting them get a running start. We were doing a lot of ball watching as the shot went up, and that's what hurt us in terms of second chance opportunities. So it wasn't as much the size as that. Thanks.